Now, kids' games are often looked down upon as nothing more than licensed trash, meant to appeal to the lowest common denominator. However, sometimes kids' games can surprise you and go that extra mile when they really didn't have to. That's why in today's video we're going to be taking a look at 10 insane hidden details in kids' video games. As always, it's one detail per franchise, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. Released all the way back in 1999, this is probably one of the better games in this video, which says a lot about the quality of games featured in this video. Now, the detail from Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue can be seen pretty much any time you play the game, though that doesn't mean that you've noticed it. When entering first person mode, you can see Buzz's reflection in his helmet. I mean, for a kids game released at that time, this is pretty impressive. Next up is Garfield Car Furious Racing. Now, all kart races will suffer when compared to the masterpiece that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Garfield Car is no different, but it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong, would I choose to play Furious Racing again? Probably not, but after the brief time that I spent with it, well, let's just say I've played much worse. Anyway, one of Garfield's most popular companions is Odie the dog, but I never knew that Odie was so talented. If you watch the credits for what is a really, really long time, this will happen. So all of the names in the credits will change to Odie, which is pretty funny. Next up is the one game that I wasn't entirely sure about calling a kids game, but I think that's who the game is primarily marketed towards, so I think I'm okay. LEGO Marvel Superheroes is a game that is full of really cool details, but my personal favourite is the Invincible Stan Lee. There are a couple of characters in Marvel Superheroes that are pretty much invincible, those being Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, if you unlock Stan Lee as a playable character, he too will have the power of regeneration. So according to LEGO Marvel Superheroes, Stan Lee is on the same power level as Deadpool and Wolverine, which is a great tribute to the much beloved comic book creator. Up next is the Bolt video game. Based on the movie of the same name, Bolt sees you taking control of either Bolt or Penny, as you try to rescue Penny's dad, who has been kidnapped by the evil Dr. Kaliko. Now, the detail from Bolt can be heard whenever you pause the game. Taking a break will cause Rhino the hamster to speak one of several hidden lines of dialogue.
Oh man, this is too intense. I need a breather. I'm gonna go check the Bolt message boards. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Nothing's happening. Okay, bladder is all tanked up, but the wood chips are way over there. I can hold it. Just pausing a moment to increase the tension. Tension building. I think I'll do some push-ups. One, and that'll do for now.
Again, Bolt is a game aimed at kids, but to have the voice actor record lines of dialogue for whenever the player pauses the game, and it being the same voice actor from the movie, is definitely going the extra mile. Next up is SpongeBob Truth or Square. Now, the most obvious detail in Truth or Square is the idle animation where our spongy friend gets really old really fast. The thing is, you've all seen that detail before, and despite it making for a great thumbnail, the detail that I chose for today's video can actually be found in the settings menu. Selecting many of the options in the settings will trigger several lines of dialogue.
Look at the pretty slider. Slide up, slide down, whee!
Volume level. Perhaps you can use that to turn SpongeBob down.
Hey, y'all! Turn up the volume so you can hear me. Can you hear me? Huh? Huh?
That sounds evil. So what are you waiting for? Turn it up!
What happens if I push everything at once?
My rocket doesn't even have this many controls.
Just like Bolt, there was no need for the developers to add dialogue here. I mean, who would have missed it? But it's really cool that they did. Next up is Samurai Jack, the Shadow of Aku. Now, regular viewers will know that I love idle animations, and the idle animation from Shadow of Aku is one of my favourites. If you leave Jack near a patch of grass, this will happen. So Jack will weave himself a straw hat, which will stay on his head until he takes damage. I mean, considering most idle animations are just that, animations, it's cool that the idle animation in Samurai Jack actually gives Jack a cool hat. Now, if I'm honest, this next quote-unquote detail is more of an Easter egg than it is a detail, but I spent so long trying to hit this damn chicken that I had to include it here. At the very beginning of 2010's ScoobyDoo and the Spooky Swamp, if you hit a chicken, this will happen. Like I said, hitting one of these chickens is really hard, but if you do, the chicken will turn the tables and hunt Scooby and Shaggy down. Next up is the Madagascar game. Released in 2005, it too follows the story of the movies as you help the crew escape to freedom. Now, the detail from this game is more hidden dialogue, but this time you have to be really patient. As the game begins, if you leave Marty on the treadmill, this will happen.
Okay, good sweat. We can stop anytime. Once I ran on here for 2 hours, but let's not do that again. The rest of the zoo is great. Maybe we should check it out. How about we press the stop button? This is animal abuse. Hey, Alex, help! I can't get off this thing. Oh, sure, just go off and do your own thing. Leave old Marty here to rot. I'll give you $1 to stop it. Hey, get back here and play the game. I bet you think I can't get off this treadmill by myself. Well, you just watch. I'm gonna concentrate really hard and wish I was somewhere else. You can't just leave me like this, man. It's cruel and unusual. Or at least cruel. What's wrong with you? Go get the money.
Now, I think what's most impressive here are the sheer amount of voice lines that were recorded for a situation that a lot of players may have just missed. Right, I know that I said Lego Marvel Superheroes was a game that I wasn't sure about calling a kids game. Well, the same applies to this next game. The 2002 Spider-Man game was based on the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie, and saw you playing through the events of the film. Now, like most games, the Spider-Man game gave you the choice of playing a tutorial first to help you get the swing of things. Pun intended. Of course, you can skip the tutorial, but if you do, then the narrator, played by Bruce Campbell of Evil Dead fame, will call you out for it.
Here's a tip for when you're on the side of a building. If you press the zip line button, you'll zip in the direction you're throwing. Of course, you'd know this if you played the basic tutorial, but I guess you're just cooler than the rest of us.
So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and hidden details in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.